In the course of our last few lessons, we learned how important the spirit of nationalism was in the formation of new nation states. In the period between 1830 and 1848, many liberal nationalists went on to waging their own revolutions against the conservative regimes that were put in power by the Vienna Congress of 1815. Now we learned that it was this one spirit of nationalism that helped people feel a sense of unitedness, feel a sense of belongingness with the nation. And it is for this spirit of nationalism that people now went on to fight wars for the cause of their homeland. But the situation was not to remain the same post 1848. Because after 1848, it could be witnessed that the conservative leaders were using this same tool of nationalism to further ensure the continuance of their conservative rules. Well, it sounds very ironical because these conservative rules should not have been in alliance with the spirit of nationalism. But the situation was such that this one idea of nationalism was manipulated by these conservative leaders. That said, this lesson will be focusing on the German unification that happened in the year 1871. Now, this German unification did not happen instantaneously. It happened through a process of many wars fought, many conflicts that were resolved. So let us now begin this discussion and find out how Germany was united in 1871. We learned that Napoleon had set up the Confederation of Rhine that comprised 39 states. Now this Confederation of Rhine was a loose assembly of these German states during the Vienna Congress of 1815. Subsequently, the German liberal nationalists wanted to forge a new nation state for themselves. One nation state that would have a national identity, a national sense of belonging. But this idea, this liberal nationalist idea, was suppressed by the monarchy. Because the monarchy did not really want to give any power to these liberal nationalists who wanted to have constitutional governments rule their new nation states. Instead, now Prussia came to the fore to support this cause of German unification. Support from the Prussian army, support from the Russian rich businessmen called Junkers contributed to the German unification that happened in 1871. Well, if we are to credit one person with this German unification that happened in 1871, we should definitely mention Prussian Prime Minister Otto von Bismarck. Now, Otto von Bismarck was the true architect of the German unification that was completed in 1871. Otto von Bismarck, as the Prussian Prime Minister, wanted to exert more and more Prussian power and dominance over these states that together comprised Germany. So Germany, though it was united, was completely under Prussian dominance. And in a series of wars fought with Austria, Denmark and France over a period of 7 years, this German unification was completed under the leadership of Otto von Bismarck. So let us now learn more about this process, about how this unification was achieved. From the beginning itself, Otto von Bismarck, or rather Prussia, had its eye on the German states. And so in the year 1864, an alliance was formed between Prussia and Austria. And why was this done? This was done to defeat Denmark. So in the course of a war, this alliance of Prussia and Austria defeated Denmark to win two border provinces of Schleswig and Holstein. Now, Schleswig went under the control of Prussia, and Holstein went under the control of Austria. So this is what had happened in 1864. Soon after, Otto von Bismarck now wanted to control more and more regions of Germany. He wanted to establish Prussian dominance in Germany. And for this reason, he started pressurizing Austria. Now, Austria saw this as a threat. And so, tensions between Austria and Prussia kept on surging. So much so that the 7 Weeks' War broke out between Austria and Prussia. Now, Prussia had huge amounts of resources. At the same time, its battle techniques were also advanced. Its military troops were also well prepared to fight this war. So, this 7 Weeks' War between Austria and Prussia ended with Prussian victory in 1866. Now, this Prussian victory over Austria in 1866 played a very decisive role. Firstly, Otto von Bismarck was able to ensure the support of the German masses. The German masses saw that Prussia was very powerful and dominant. And at the same time, it is this victory over Austria that gave Prussia control over northern Germany. So the northern German states were henceforth under the dominance of Prussia following the 7 Weeks' War. And it was for the first time western and eastern parts of the Prussian kingdom were joined. So earlier on, it were the West Prussia and East Prussia. But these two regions were joined in this year. And after this, in the year 1867, the remaining parts of northern Germany also joined Prussia. So this map shows us here how Prussia looked like in 1865. So this is what the extent of Prussia was in 1865. Now in 1866, following its victory in the 7 Weeks' War, these were the regions in northern Germany which were annexed by Prussia. So Prussia was able to assert its independence in the truest sense of the term. Austria was severely humiliated as a result of this 7 Weeks' War. In fact, Austria also had to give up Venetia to Italy. So Austria was completely removed from this scenario. Then in the following year, that is in 1867, the remaining parts of northern Germany also joined Prussia, and they together formed the North German Confederation in 1867. So here, these regions marked in yellow show you the places that joined the North German Confederation in 1867. And mind you, this entire North German Confederation was largely under Prussian dominance. So in the truest sense of the term, most of these places in Germany were under the control of Prussia. And here you could see the demarcation or the border of the North German Confederation. So what remained to be controlled by Prussia at this point of time was the southern parts of Germany. Now, with controlling the northern parts of Germany, with controlling the central parts of Germany, Otto von Bismarck now started eyeing this southern region as well. He wanted to control this southern region, and so he now started devising strategies. Well, Otto von Bismarck was a very shrewd and diplomatic politician. He knew very well how to quote unquote invent new stories. He knew that these southern states would not want to join this entire North German Confederation or be under the Prussian dominance, because these southern states were mostly Catholic states. And Prussia by and large was a Protestant state. So Otto von Bismarck now thought of a strategy that if he could show that Prussia was being invaded by a foreign power, then these masses might join Prussia in the cause of the war. Now Bismarck thought of a strategy. He realized that if he could show the masses in the southern parts of Germany that Prussia was being invaded or dominated by any foreign power, then these masses in the southern parts of Germany might join hands with Prussia. And so what did he do? He composed or constructed a new story that the French diplomat had insulted and humiliated the German Prime Minister Otto von Bismarck. As a result of this, France was infuriated because this was all a cooked up story. This did not have any grounding in reality, which is why this shrewd politics of Bismarck now provoked Napoleon III of France to declare war on Prussia in July 1870. Now this was the situation, or this was the opportunity that Bismarck was waiting for. Immediately after France had declared war on Prussia in 1870, battle was fought between the two. And Prussia managed to gain control of Sedan, where the main battle was being fought in France. And as a result of this, the Franco-Prussian War was the final stage in the German unification. So, France was completely defeated in the Franco-Prussian War. And with this, now the southern parts of Germany saw that Prussia was a real force to reckon with. Prussia was very powerful and dominant, and so they joined the northern parts. So a true unification of Germany was almost achieved at this point of time, and immediately after this, the province of Alsace-Lorraine was also annexed from France. With this, the unification of Germany was completed under the leadership of Otto von Bismarck. And mind you, the Prussians had gotten their control or dominance over Germany by iron and blood. They fought a lot under the leadership of Bismarck, and they fought in stages in several of these places against Austria, Denmark, and then France in order to achieve the German unification. And subsequently, after the end of the Franco-Prussian War, on January 18, 1871, inside the Hall of Mirrors at the Palace of Versailles, which was captured by the Prussians, many people met. So in this assembly, the princes of German states, the Prussian army, many Prussian ministers, as well as Otto von Bismarck now proclaimed the Prussian king Wilhelm I as the new German emperor of the Second Reich, or the German Empire. The First Reich was the Holy Roman Empire, and this German Empire was the Second Reich. Now what we see here is a painting of the proclamation of the German Empire in the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles. This painting was drawn by the painter Anton von Werner, and it was gifted to Bismarck on his 70th birthday in 1885. Now here you can see Kaiser in the middle of this painting. You could also see the commander of the Prussian army, General von Roon, and Otto von Bismarck next to Kaiser. So in this way, the new German Empire was forged, and King Wilhelm II was proclaimed the new emperor. And mind you, this new German Empire was forged entirely because of Prussian domination, and in fact a Prussian king was placed at the head of this new German Empire. Before proceeding with this lesson, let me ask you a question. When was the German unification completed? Was it completed in 1868, 1866, 1870, or in 1871? Well, the correct answer is 1871. It was in 1871, at the Hall of Mirrors in the Palace of Versailles that this final German unification was achieved by the declaration of the new German Empire. This new German Empire was forged and the Prussian king Wilhelm I was proclaimed the new German emperor. Now here we see the German Empire as it looked in 1871. So all those principalities, all those states that together made the Confederation of the Rhine were joined together and unified under the umbrella of the German Empire. And in this discussion we could understand how Otto von Bismarck was at the head of this. He was in fact the architect of the German unification of 1871. Now in the new German Empire, currency was modernized, banking, legal and judicial systems were also modernized and placed great importance on. So these were the new things that were emphasized in the new state of Germany. A very important point that we need to keep in our minds is that this new state of Germany was completely under Prussian domination, because this second Reich was formed by Otto von Bismarck in the truest sense of the term. And it was Bismarck who in stages, by fighting many wars, now together constructed this German Empire. Now the formation of the German Empire also tilted the balance of powers that was established by the Vienna Congress of 1815, because now in the Central Europe stood a very powerful and huge nation in the form of the German Empire from 1871. Having learnt about how the German unification was achieved through a series of many battles fought, in a subsequent lesson we will be focusing on another unification, that is the Italian unification. The Italian unification was also achieved in a course of many conflicts, in a course of many territorial adjustments. So it is that discussion on Italian unification that we will be taking up in our subsequent lesson. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app to learn one-to-one with our amazing teachers, or to get access to all our 5,000 plus amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million-plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock tests. Get all your doubts resolved instantly. Learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, it's rewarding too. So register for free now.